Hello everybody, my name is Adelaja and I'm back here today to talk to you about our Nigerian issues, my charge to Nigeria and Nigerians. And today I'll be talking about why Nigeria must stop building with cement blocks. We all are familiar with cement blocks in Nigeria, right? It's high time we stop the practice of building. That is a technology that is ancient, that is outdated. In the 21st century, it's a disgrace that our engineers have not been able to come up with a lasting solution and with an alternative building technology and building blocks rather than cement blocks. Let's have a look at this video. And this video, which most Nigerians are familiar with, will probably convince you about my argument, but I'm still going to explain some of the things I'm saying. But this was a flood. You see the man going in the rain, in the water, because it was a flood. But because that water has been there for a few days, and so it means that the building has been under the water, so it has been drenched by the water. And because the man took off, because it has been lying under that water for some time, the cement is soaked, and because it's soaked, it's collapsed. So this is kind of tragedy we've been experiencing in Nigeria these days. A lot of collapsed buildings, and people are wondering why these buildings are collapsing. Is it just because of the fault of the engineers? Is it just because of the builders? No, it's not only that, it's because of the technology we're using. It's high time we stop using block cement to build. It is outdated. You don't see this kind of block cement anymore in Europe. You don't see them in most of the developed countries. It is outdated. We should not use cement blocks anymore to build houses. They are too heavy, number one. They are unpractical. They put unnecessary pressure on the foundation of the building, like in this thing we just saw. So if you have a block of 60 30 by 20 centimeter, it will weigh 16 kilogram, and then a block of 20 to 40 centimeter will weigh 24 to 35 kilograms. Who needs that? It is outdated, it's too heavy, and that kind of weight will eventually cause the building to damage or to even collapse, like we just saw right now. And another problem with this block cement, or what do you call them, cement block, is that it takes too long to dry up. Can you imagine these blocks takes up to 5 days when there is sun for you to just dry it up. And in Nigeria, where we are, is not just sunny and dry season, we also have raining season, and so people have to wait for blocks to dry. And even under the sun, it takes 5 days. And that tells you that the technology is out there. Who is going to be waiting to dry in an age when Chinese are building hospitals and skyscrapers in 5 days? We are just drying the blocks. It takes us 5 days just to dry the blocks. In these days of competition, it's a waste of time. It should only take hours to dry blocks, especially in Nigeria, where you already have sun. In Africa, it is also time consuming before you put the cement, and before you mix it together with the sand, and then it's time consuming. Also, even though it is heavy, but when the house is built, because of the holes, they have holes inside. It makes the walls too thin. So the walls are too thin. Even though the thing is big itself, is heavy, but the walls are not heavy. The walls are thin. So it's not even practical. So whatever is happening in one room or part of the house, other people are hearing it, and it's not practical. It's two big holes in the middle of those blocks. And another problem with the holes is not just because they make the walls too thin, but they attract fungi. those black, because when you have a space like that, open space cannot be empty. So those holes inside makes it, they first of all attract the fungi, and then when you're already inside the building and it's impossible to disinfect the walls. So once you already use them to build, you cannot disinfect even when the fungi are already there. And how do you see the fungi? You begin to see that even though you have plastered the building and you have painted it, but the buildings begin to have some cracks or some fungi, some deformation. You begin to see deformation all over the building. And the reason for that is because those are fungi, those are fungus that are being attracted to those buildings. And so that's why, have you noticed that you finish building it doesn't matter how new a building is in Nigeria, you finish painting and everything, soon it's becoming black and dark. Rain will fall. After rain falls 1 or 2 years, you begin to see dark and black stains. Yeah, those black stains you see all over the building, that is it's a result of fungi. Those are fungus right there. It is fungi that is attracted, and because when they mix together with rain water, it reveals it. So it's just outdated technology. The process, it's we should just forget about it. Those black. So that's why even new buildings in Africa, they are looking old because of those black colored stains. But in Europe, come to Europe, you see a building of 500 years, 200 years, 400 years, 500 years. I went to Germany, I saw buildings of 500 years, 700 years. They are looking new. But you go to Nigeria, there are no buildings of 400, 500 years in Nigeria. Maybe there are 40, 30 years. Even if a building is 40 years in Nigeria, it's already regarded as old. Even buildings of 1 year is older than the buildings of 500 years that I saw in Europe. And even here in this country where I live. But because of the technology, because of the blocks that we're using, because of these cement blocks, we're wasting money. We are not getting quality for it. And then those fungi also, they attract infections and sickness. Besides that, the processing is too hard to even go through the whole process of, those blocks, making those blocks. It's a manual labor that is just a waste of time and life. And those black fungi that I talk about, the fungicide, those are the things that make the building look older than they are supposed to be. Because when those fungi come across the rain, they generate those black marks and dirt that we see all over, then they destroy the paintings. Even though if you repaint it again, as soon as it rains again, the coalition or the mixture of water and the fungi brings again the black stains all over again. That's why all those buildings are looking old. So the concentration of this fungi will eventually lead to the destruction of because if the fungi will keep on being there, and because the whole building is made of those kind of ores and those kind of bricks, the concentration of them will lead to the destruction of the building. That's why we saw that building collapse. So we need waterproof blocks. Blocks that don't get destroyed under water and rain. I'm showing you some pictures. I'm sure you are seeing some pictures of the kind of blocks that we used to have and the kind of blocks that we need. We need blocks that don't collect black fungi and they don't collect dirt on the walls and destroy paintings. We need blocks that similar to if you go to Israel, if you've been to Jerusalem, you will be impressed. The buildings are white all the time. It doesn't matter the amount of rain or sun, they're always white because of the technology that is used. I was surprised that even Brazil, that is supposed to be a developing country too, they have the kind of bricks and walls, and building bricks that are totally different. They make their buildings look white all the time. You don't even need to paint the buildings. You don't need to paint the buildings outside. They are always looking nice. The same with European buildings. You don't see many of them painted because they are always, the technology, the building blocks and bricks, they are sophisticated. That is our problem. Even though we have red, what do you call it? Clay. We have red clay, but it's too expensive. So that's why everybody is using these cement blocks. But there are many other technologies that I'm not an engineer, I know about that could be used could be introduced in Nigeria so that the buildings will stop collapsing and so that, people will get quality for their money. So I'm calling upon the government and the engineer and the society, the Civil Engineering Society of Nigeria. What are you doing? I'm not even an engineer. I'm not even into building. But I know this thing just because I'm exposed. Some engineers are even coming from America and from Europe. They are coming to use the same brick to build in Nigeria as if they are not. Why are we not using critical thinking? What is the essence of our education if you cannot bring about ideas and innovation that will improve the lives of people? I hope somebody is hearing me today, both the government and the civil society and the nation at large, for the love of God, church, and nation. Peace. Sunday Adelaja here. If you believe in nation-building principles, please like this video, share it with your friends, and let's change our nations together.